What is that? What the? Is that a sneeze? Are you okay, dude? It's like a heart murmur. This man needs CPR.
Welcome back to the walkthrough, where we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. On today's show, we're talking Inman's new global influencer campaign, the Contagion taking over the real estate industry, social media trends from HubSpot, and much, much more. Coming off the best episode in the history of the walkthrough, we do have an incredible list of topics, but an even more incredible panel of guests for you today. I am your moderator and co-host, Dan Oneil, and joining me, as always, fresh off a facial, fresh off getting some UV rays, maybe a trip or two to the dentist, and 3 weeks away from becoming boy to man, Eric, the broke agent Simon. Eric, how are you today?
I actually became a man when I was bar mitzvahed when I was 13 years old, Dan. So I'm already a man, but yes, I'm a week off my facial. No hat needed to cover this skin. I'm looking fantastic.
Dude.
I'm pumped for this episode. Great group, great list of topics. Let's go.
Yes, we are also joined by one of my favorite creators in the industry, but more importantly, maybe my favorite person to enjoy a crisp glass of Sauvignon Blanc with, all the way from the Space Coast, Mr. Shane Bergman. Shane, how are you today?
Doing well. I watched the last episode where Eric was talking about his facial, and I had like a hat and I was going to wear and kind of make a joke about it. But then I got a little like depressed about it because when you get a facial as a man, they don't give us a discount for having a beard. So I'm just bitter and I never wanted to bring it up again. So, but I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me. Super.
A lot of facial talks on the show. We also are joined today by social media superstar who, unfortunately, I have not had the pleasure of having any Sauvignon Blanc with yet. But we do have the one and only Shannon Gillette, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Shannon, thanks for coming. How are you today?
Doing good. So excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. All right. Make sure to like and comment here. Make sure to let David Childers know that we're doing a good job with the show. And speaking of David Childers, Eric, a word from our sponsors, and maybe today do it in a, I don't know, your ESPN voice. Maybe try that out.
Ooh.
Brought to you by Petco. That voice, Dan, is that what you're talking about?
Voice. Yeah. Do it like that.
Brought to you by Pep Boys. Cars like us, people love us. All right, now I'm just going to get into the ad read. We are brought to you by the Walkthrough Podcast, which is presented by Keeping Current Matters, your go-to source for the insights and content you need to be the market expert. KCM is the best in the business at taking the latest housing data and curating it into powerful visuals and marketing content for video and social media that help you look great and give you tons of value for your clients and prospects. At a time when the market is changing and consumers are asking questions most agents don't know how to answer, KCM makes it easy to build your brand as the market expert. Check out trykcm.com/BAM so you can master the market for your marketing today. There's a link down in the description. KCM is the best. Right, Dan?
Now say KCM is the best in the ESPN voice.
Brought to you by Keeping Current Matters.
Yeah, there we go. Boom. All right. If you like that ad read, let us know. On to topic number one. This is from Tom Toole and the BAM staff, titled A Contagion in the Real Estate Industry. I had to Google the definition, so you didn't, but the Webster definition of contagion is the communication of disease from one person to another by close contact. Tom goes on to say, and I quote, agents are spending an enormous amount of time, energy, and money producing content that doesn't show them in the best light. Many are looking for likes from other agents. And in other words, they're looking to become social media famous instead of aiming to educate. But what you need to realize is people will Google you. And if you're not adding value for consumers, you're making a big mistake. To summarize, Tom went on to suggest not shy away from entertaining, but to mix in value and to be wary of when people look you up, that if they will want to work with you or not. As somebody who this kind of speaks to indirectly here as I make some funny videos that maybe doesn't show me in the best light. I mean, I've dressed up as the Grinch before, Batman, and so on and so forth. And as somebody has made outlandish funny videos, I can agree with Tom. Shane and Shannon, I was just at Tom Ferry's Marketing Edge event in Tampa, which if you've not gone to yet, I suggest you do immediately. And Shannon, Shane, and I are all in the ecosystem, and Eric is essentially an honorary member. But Jason Pantana put both of your guys' videos on stage, on screen, Shane, a comedic one, adding value and showing a home. And Shannon, yours was great value, education with a catchy hook. So Shane, I'll start with you and your take on this sickness, on this contagion happening in our industry, and your thoughts on it.
So the first thing about it is that's a really well done article, and I love the way that Tom like delivers very assertive, actionable just content. So like sifting through it, the first thing that I initially got the read on is I agree 100% about the Google aspect. I know consumers are Googling our names, they're seeing all the content we have out there. So having a profile that is Googleable and not going to be perceived as some kind of like idiot on there is really important on there. He talked about bringing value to the consumer. Absolutely agree at that. One of the things he was going like he was hammering almost like only doing content. What is what is that? What the? Is that a sneeze? Are you okay, dude? It's like a heart murmur. This man needs CPR. Are you okay, Eric?
Go on.
There's a happy, like, his heart stopped. I feel.
What the
Goodness, man.
It just almost exploded. Sorry about that. You were making a great point.
I was. I thought I was. I don't know, man.
No, you weren't.
If you're listening and you're not watching, Eric might just projectile vomited on screen. I don't know what that was.
You know how you have a cough that comes up and you're trying to suppress it? That's what I was trying to do because you were rolling there.
No,
Shame.
I don't know what that's like.
My
It's okay.
apologies.
No, I apologize that you're in that much pain.
That reminded me of like when you're a kid and you're like in class and your teacher says something and you're like looking at your brother and you don't want to like not laugh and he just that was
Honestly, I just looked at Dan's face and I started losing my mind.
Yeah,
My apologies.
it's all right,
I
man.
need to speaking of regaining professionalism, I'm back. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Wait, continue your great point before you were rudely interrupted by Eric's.
It was a safety concern. I'm glad we should have just stopped the show there and made sure he's okay. He's still alive. We can tell that. So.
Okay.
But where I was going was, so Tom almost like was saying the content that people, agents deliver should be only for the consumer is kind of what I was pulling from that, where I would disagree in the aspect where I specifically and strategically create content for both consumer and real estate agents alike. So that was one of the kind of disagreements I had in there, but I have to follow up with the last thing he said. I don't know if you guys watched that video, but the exact last line he said is, we're not here to be video influencers. We're here to guide people through one of life's most stressful transactions.
Which is true.
Which is absolutely true.
You always talk about the 3 buckets of content that you guys have, and I mean I've seen a huge uptick in your content. What are those three buckets, and what should agents be focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, so we have client-facing ones, which is we call the ARIA 101, where it's real estate, education. We kind of take the vernacular in real estate and sort of educate consumer on it. We do agent stuff. So it's where it's like little hacks. I've been doing kind of a series called Real Estate Hacks, where it's just like tools we could bring, simple ways. Like did he fucking do that again?
Is he sick?
I'm out of here, man.
Is he okay? Did he fall out of his chair?
I can't stop laughing. Oh my God.
Where'd he go?
You know what is most funny about this is he spent 15 minutes dialing in his microphone just so he could do that shit.
Oh my God. I've never seen it like that.
Oh God.
Where is he? His elbow is just out like a 90-degree angle.
Oh my God. Are you okay?
Guys.
Are you okay?
Look, I've been wound so tight. The audio issues, the wedding, a lot of damn stress. I'm losing it.
Are you sick? Are you? I don't know what's happening. Oh my God, my stomach hurts so bad from laughing. Oh God, this guy Shane is dropping incredible nuggets here, and you're just, oh God, get this guy a garbage pail, huh?
Get him out of here.
Okay.
My nose is running from laughing.
Shane.
Yes, it's all right, man. We don't expect much of you, so.
All right, Shane, continue. I'm sorry.
I feel like can we start?
All right, yeah, let's go to Shannon. Maybe
Okay.
Eric.
Yes, Tom Toole just makes me smile every time I
Yes.
see his videos. And here's the thing, and the big lie in the industry right now, the agents that think their agent focused content is going to bring them referrals. Nobody's going to refer an agent who only talks about real estate stuff, because do you sell homes? I am out showing homes, listing homes every single day. Yes, I do a bunch of different type of content, but it's not going to get you anywhere. And you're going to get those agent referrals by showing the agent community that you're doing a great job marketing listings and providing value, because we want to refer our clients to somebody that can take care of them and actually spends time selling homes and not just making agent videos all day.
Yeah, Shannon, you do a really, really good job of adding value like right away, like having a strong hook within the first 3 seconds. We see all the time where agents will start a video and it's like, they have 5 seconds of somebody figuring out the camera, or they say who they are, where they're from, and it kind of, people click off right away. I feel like you do a really, really good job of adding value right away and like kind of like having a strong, catchy hook right from the start.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I implemented something recently that's been crazy. I'm doing lifestyle first video reels for my listing. So nobody wants to watch a boring, and I don't list crazy nice homes every once in a while. I mean, in Arizona, they're all like track homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So nobody wants to look at a reel of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. So I do lifestyle first. What is it like to live in the neighborhood, and content that can be used long after the home closes. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll see examples of this. And I recently put a reel out there for a $300,000 listing in Gilbert, Arizona. The reel had 7,000 views, but what is so cool about it is we actually had 18 offers. This was 2 weeks ago on the listing.
Wow.
4 of the offers, I am not lying, came from people who saw the Instagram reel, came to the open house, put in an offer. So if you market your listings the right way, you literally can sell your listings this way, but you have to have that hook. I really believe you have to show lifestyle first to capture the attention, especially if it's a traditional home.
Absolutely. Eric, what's the best way to mix in entertainment and value, in your opinion, for agents right now? If you can even speak, let's
Yes.
see.
I can speak, and I am back. And great points by both Shane and Shannon. You definitely have to show more real estate stuff. I think this contagion point, you hear Byron talk about it, you hear Tom talk about it. They're referring to the agents from 2020 through 2022 who just got into the business, who only posted comedic sketches, basically. And by the way, this was a great way to build an audience in those couple of years. Agent to agent referrals are huge. Matt Leonetti's built an enormous business doing this. We're not speaking to the Matt Leonetti's, the Dan Oneils, Shane Bergman. Obviously, you do funny videos plus adding value. And they're getting so many agent to agent referrals from doing these actual videos. But what they're talking about is agents who have kind of clinged on to trying to get social media famous as opposed to actually providing value to their contents. I think that was kind of the emphasis of the piece. And I don't want it to discourage people, because if you read the Instagram, there's a lot of comments saying, hey, I make fun videos and I get all these agent to agent referrals and it's what I like doing. And this is like the one, piece that BAM has put out that's actually like insulted me. Someone commented that. And then I commented back that, we're not trying to discourage anyone from creating these. It's just, I think there needs to be a readjustment in a way where agents are more focused on value and edutainment, education, especially in a time where there's market instability. So he actually did give some great actionable advice here. So instead of spending time creating content that doesn't like shed you in the best light, you should actually create content that brings value. And then after you post that video, you should email it directly to your client. So don't just post it, email it to your client, follow up, do more value-based stuff, and then address objections head on. So I don't know. I like this piece. I think it actually created a little controversy and got shared a bunch to a bunch of creators who maybe have to look internally and feel like, am I creating content just to get likes and comments and get other agents to like it? Or if my clients look at this content, are they going to actually get value from it? So I think it was a really good piece. Did that make any sense, what I just said?
It made total
Yeah,
sense.
it's awesome.
Thank God.
Yeah. Fully redeemed himself.
Fully
But
redeemed.
if you're not already following Shane and Shannon, they both do incredible jobs. Like I mentioned, we were just in Tampa. Jason Pantana showed your guys' videos as examples of what new agents should be doing. Also, Tom Ferry, speaking of which, is hitting the Southeast in 2 weeks with stops in Orlando, Atlanta, and Miami. So if you're in any of those markets, this is a great chance to soak up an enormous amount of value in just one single day. March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Link in the description to grab your tickets. Now, Eric, that is how you do an ad read. Drop a comment.
Seamless.
That's really good. That was really good.
Drop a comment if you agree with Tom Toole or disagree about this contagion, this sickness in our industry. All right. Any final thoughts before we move on to topic 2 here? Eric, are you good now?
I am good. Yes.
All right. Topic number 2, HubSpot's social media trends for 2023. This 68-page report. I didn't read it. What's worked in 2022 and what we should leave behind and what will be working in 2023. According to the report, consumers in 2022 wanted the following: more personalized content, faster service, and better experience. And they wanted it all now. HubSpot's social media trends report outlined 10 trends powered by consumers. We scoured through them, and by we, I mean the BAM staff, and condensed them into 6 must-know trends for real estate agents in 2023. This is debatable. Some of this is stuff we already know, and this is stuff that we will debate. But number 1 is TikTok will explode, but YouTube and Instagram are still relevant for agents. Number 2, social selling will reduce dependence on other people's platforms. Number 3, and this is a tongue twister, omni-channel engagement requires an omni-channel presence. Boom. No big deal. Number 4, influencer marketing is growing up and improving with age. Number 5, agent brand inclusivity is about being a professional. Who the hell wrote this? ChatGPT? Number 6, building online communities can catapult your brand to the next level. I love HubSpot. I feel like, again, this is kind of stuff we already knew. What stands out to you guys, if anything? For me, them suggesting that TikTok will explode is a little insane for 2023. How many agents are actually really using TikTok for content as opposed to kind of just scrolling or repurposing? So that's what really stuck out to me. Eric, what are your thoughts on this 68-page report from HubSpot?
Yes, I come through every single word of the 68-page report. This is what I did
read
yesterday.
half of
It
this.
took me 6.5 hours.
Omni-channel
I'm
engagement
surprised you
requires
pronounced that correctly. Actually, that was very well done. My main takeaway here was social selling. So it talks about how within apps you're going to be able to sell a lot more, whether it's actually your merchandise, linking, or doing online live streams, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, where you could actually link to different products, or you could get badges. I think the social selling aspect of this is enormous, especially from an agent perspective. Whenever we do it with webinars or live streams, when we're doing debates or we're doing our live cold calls, anytime you have a captivated audience that's there for 45, 50 minutes and they're actually engaged in the comments, that's the best time you could possibly pitch something, whether it's your email list or a new listing or something like that. So I think agents in 2023 should definitely be taking advantage of doing more Instagram lives, Facebook lives, TikTok lives, getting used to speaking off the cuff, and then getting used to plugging something while they're doing those lives, whether it's their email list, a listing, an open house, something like that, because then your audience is actually captivated. So I was going to kick it to Shannon and Shane and see if you guys plan on doing any live content in 2023, if you think that's a good idea.
I mean, I've thought about it. I'll jump on lives sometimes. Like I've jumped on with Derek and Chris a little bit. And Chris just did a live the other day and it was clean as hell. And it was one of those where he used OBS to like live stream everything. And I feel like if I was going to do it, that's the level I would have to do it, have really high quality. It's just one thing I haven't really jumped into, but very, very interested in it. And I can see the value there as far as building a community within your followers.
Yeah.
And one thing that stood out to me in the report is really improving the overall client experience. And what I've done over the past year is I've created next step videos for every step of the way, any question my clients have ever asked. And this has been a complete game changer in my business. I now have a full buyer's guide with videos of every step of the way. And my clients are constantly just thanking us to that they have this available. And it's saving so much time where I'm not, taking calls at 10 o'clock at night, explaining like why the appraiser needs to come over to their house tomorrow or why somebody needs a final walkthrough. So video is so easy to do. I think having a video of every step of the way can really help that, putting it over on your YouTube. And then when people are searching, what are seller closing costs, they can find your video. You can sell more homes from it.
And are you sending these Yeah, are you sending these directly to your clients? Like when they start the process, is there a drip campaign? Are you doing it individually, or are you sending them links to your YouTube?
For the buyers, I use High Note, so I have a buyer's guide which has every video from how to choose a realtor, what's a buyer consultation, what happens after your offer is accepted, how to get your offer accepted. So they have this and they are obsessed with it, and I can see how many times they're watching these videos. And then for my sellers, when their home goes under contract, right away, I'm actually just usually texting them a video. Here's what happens now that your home's under contract. Because the biggest complaint in the real estate industry right now from sellers is they never hear from their agent and the lack of communication. So we don't have time to do these calls. I mean, I have 15 active listings right now. Could you imagine me explaining the next steps to 15 different sellers? So having these videos is a huge just game changer.
Yeah, sending the individual videos, I think, should be something that's on every agent's mind in 2023. We talked about this over the holidays. Instead of just posting a holiday graphic, you actually DM a video of yourself saying happy holidays to your clients, doing these one-on-one videos. And that kind of goes back to the Contagion post and Tom Toole saying, if you actually post something of value, whether it's a green screen or you're describing the appraisal process like you do, Shannon, sending that directly to the client, whether it's DMs, text, email, is a good move. Go ahead, Shane.
Well, like you, I digested the 68-page report and have almost memorized every single letter in it. But fortunately, you guys kind of summarized it for people that don't have that kind of time. But overall, kind of the big takeaways from that article was they had talked about like exploding in TikTok, but they said that Instagram was the best platform for conversion, which I totally agree with, because I do think it is a platform that really makes it very easy for people to have those one-on-one communications. And maybe I'm biased because that is the platform that I utilize most. And if I'm getting leads, it's primarily from that source, but that's something I agreed with. Going through like the 6 things you guys summarized, and then you go into a little bit more detail with them. With number 3, the point about the omni-channel, omnipresence that Dan so eloquently described earlier. One of the quotes in there that I really appreciated was, find a way to make yourself an indispensable part of your ideal client's daily news feed. It was something I hadn't really thought about it like that, because in that report it talks about how most people, I think it was a high percentage in the 80 or 90%, go to social media and that's where they find out about their news. I think it might have been 84%, which is like astronomically high. And it's also interesting, but making it part of their daily news feed was something that kind of stood out to me. And then topic number 4, influencer marketing is growing up and improving. I just wanted to say that you guys, I think, do the best job as far as collaborating, because it goes into detail about influencer marketing and collaborating with other people within your industry. And I think you guys are setting the bar for what true collaboration looks like within an industry where there's no real affinity between the brokerages.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And despite that very nice compliment, Shane, you did get that statistic wrong. It's actually 2/3 of internet users consume their news specifically from social media. You said a ridiculously high number, like 85%. So
something like that.
He was up by 10%.
That's 20%. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician here, but it's like more like 19%.
I had a plus or minus 20 on that, though.
Oh yeah, plus or minus.
I had a spread though. There's a spread on that.
But I think
it was in the report.
Exactly. I think the omni-channel presence, like you just touched upon, Shane, is so important, because if we dive into only one platform, and Shannon, you've done such a good job with this. You have a YouTube channel that is pumping out nonstop content. You have a huge Instagram channel. For BAM, our entire goal is to be the biggest media channel on every platform, because we know people consume and get their news differently. I go on Twitter. That's where I get my news. If we're not on Twitter, then we're missing, 10%, 15% of agents that are there. So that's super important. The micro influencers too, Shane. I think proximity to other successful agents, I don't know, maybe necessarily in your market, but just showing that you're with other kind of power figures as micro influencers is really good for just kind of brand recognition and respect. And then the final point I want to touch upon was building communities. Mm-hmm. We just had Matt LaMarche on our podcast, who built a Porsche community on Facebook groups, where they go on, I don't know, Porsche rides or something. They all look at Porsches together. I don't really know exactly what happens in these groups. It's kind of strange, but he's built a huge online community, and he is now the agent for all these Porsche, shiners, users. So the online community aspect, whether you're actually building one or infiltrating one, is really slept on, and I'm glad that people are bringing this back up in 2023. So if you have the ability to build a Facebook group or a Discord around a passion or something that you like, which is the same thing as a passion, then I think you should do that. Shannon, are you in any Facebook groups, or
Where's
do you
your
have a
Facebook
Facebook group?
Did you say Shannon or Shane?
Shannon.
Very similar names here.
Eric has
Yeah.
a retainer in his mouth. Sorry.
Oh, so I used to be so into Facebook. It's really I need to do more of it, but I also take that as, the groups, or even you can do this by leaning into your personal brand. Like, I've got 3 kids. A lot of my clients are moms with young kids, and not being afraid to really show people who you are beyond just being a realtor. And you kind of almost build that community group if you're over on Instagram and not Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love Shannon's idea too with the videos for her clients. We do the same thing, and then we actually upload it into like a Facebook group. So not only does it work for your consumers or your clients that you're actively working with, but it also works for your team. So now we get a new agent, we can send that same kind of video to the newer agent, so that way they can understand the process, and it's one less conversation or training that we have to have. So it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, if that makes sense. So something that I would suggest that all agents or team leaders begin to do, because it's super helpful. All right. If you think TikTok's going to explode in 2023, let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're focusing your content in 2023 in the comments. Or, you know what? Maybe just wish me a happy birthday, a late happy birthday if you didn't last week.
I like this. The happy birthday
Yeah.
post drove so many comments last week. So let's keep this up.
Yeah.
Wish Dan a happy birthday.
Yes.
Shane or Shannon, do we have any events coming up for you that we could celebrate that people could comment on?
Yeah. Any bar mitzvahs?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, events. Oh, I thought you meant like real
Any
estate events.
brisses,
I'm about to
any of it.
fly. I'm hopping on a plane here in a few hours to fly to Brooks Landry's event in Oakland tomorrow, but that is not a birthday or anything like that. So.
All right. Well, wish Shannon a safe flight.
Yes, a safe flight.
Yeah, everybody wish Shannon a safe flight. What is that event called, Shannon?
It is called Launch. It is sold out. All about real estate.
Yeah, Brooks invited me to speak at that. I told him I would rather launch myself off of a cliff than go to that event.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's a great event. We love Brooks Landry. Guy likes Basil Hayden's on the rocks.
Yes. All right. We'll make sure to wish Shannon a safe flight here. Topic number 3, Meta verified and the end of copycat accounts. Agents' dreams coming true. We've touched on this on previous episodes, but like Elon and Twitter, Instagram will be rolling out paid verifications. As somebody, and maybe the only person in the history ever to be verified and then lose the blue check, I promise you, I will be first in line. They could take all of my money. This will get rid of copycat accounts. Apparently, you will have better reach, better engagement. This seems like a win. And I know that Eric would sell every cent of his store chain just to get a blue check, and it is his dream to be verified. So I am interested. Will you guys be paying? I saw somebody say that they wanted to do it the old-fashioned way. Good luck to you. Will you guys be doing? Will you guys be paying to get verified? I sure as heck will be.
I'll jump in on that. I think I would be, but I'm apprehensive or reluctant about it. I like the additional layers of security that it offers, because almost daily, and this happened with like Taya DeCarlo, where I was like, oh shit, she DM'd me, and it wasn't even her. And then I messaged her and said, yo, you had like some scam bot. And then she wrote back, she's like, well, I'm following you now. So I appreciate the tactic of however that worked, but all the time I'm seeing these scammers out there. So I think the additional layer of security would be really helpful. I guess the reach thing is what I was really, really interested in, as far as more exposure and more reach. And then also they kind of flirt with the idea of these exclusive features, whatever the hell that means. I think it could be pretty exclusive and it could be a cool feature. But where my apprehension sets into place is the verified blue check mark sets creators or people that are verified to a whole nother universe of people that we kind of look up to. Once it's offered to everyone and it's just now a fee involved, I think it's going to diminish the value of that. And you'll still have the security features, but I think overall it's going to dilute the actual notoriety of the blue check.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, and I hate the idea and the premise of it, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Shane, were you implying that Taya DeCarlo set up bot accounts to message you? Just so he could eventually follow you. Was that the?
I'm glad
The
you
point?
caught on that, because I did glaze over that relatively quickly.
You
But it
did.
goes,
Yes.
you're quick, man. Yeah, that's exactly what I was
I
implying.
heard that. Okay. Shannon, will you be buying the blue check?
Definitely. I wish it was actually a little bit more so less people would do it. But
Yeah.
I had this poor guy, an older realtor, send me a DM a month or so ago. He goes, Shannon, I just gave $1,000 to buy crypto with you. I thought it was you. I lost $1,000. I'm like, how are people still falling for this? But I'm sure you guys all follow Courtney, Tom Ferry's social media right hand. She's not a fan of this. She posted yesterday that she's worried that this will actually increase the issues. And who's to say a spam person can't make a fake ID or things like that? So I've definitely heard mixed reviews. I hope it solves the problem, because we've all had those fake accounts trying to steal money from our followers, which is just horrible. And I hope it solves it.
Eric, you will be emptying your crypto account for this. Am I right or am I wrong? This is your dream.
It's only $15 a month, Dan, and I have thousands and thousands of Thor chains, so I will not need to empty the account. So it's $11.99 per month just for web users. I don't really understand that. So if you're just getting verified on the internet and not on your iOS or Android, it's $11.99, $14.99 for Android and iOS users. But Shannon, you bring up a good point about Courtney. So Courtney's implying that a lot of people could get verified. Now that verification of those copycat accounts could even make it harder for the actual person. So this was an enormous problem when Twitter Blue launched. When Twitter Blue launched, you had 1 million blue checks pop up. And with Twitter Blue, you didn't need to input anything. All you had to do is put in a credit card and your thing was verified. So people were changing their name to Elon Musk or to Joe Biden or Jill Biden or whoever they wanted to be. And it looked like it was their account. And the average user scrolls by, they see the blue check next to it. They think it's that person tweeting. So I think Instagram at least is going to have different levels of security in terms of uploading your ID or a government ID or a business tax ID or some document like that to ensure that doesn't happen. But I will definitely be paying for this because the increased visibility and reach, I would pay for that regardless, whether it's through Facebook ads. So I think that's going to be huge. Shane, I caught a little sarcasm when you said the exclusive features. I agree. That's kind of a meaningless promise. I don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
But in terms of more protection from impersonation and the ability to talk to an actual human being at Instagram, which they offers as opposed to just submitting a request that never even gets looked at, I think that'll be huge because there's so many, like Instagram is such a janky app. There's so many problems that pop up with it where like our Overask account didn't even have reels for a while. I haven't been able to duet. Like there's a lot of problems with the app. So
there's not even like a phone number that you can call. Like my ads have been disabled for like 4 years now. And you send an email and it's just like an error code. Like there's not even like a support system. So I'm a little bit afraid that this is going to create even more of an issue with that and like not being able to have anybody be accessible. But they are promising that if you pay this $13 a month or whatever, you'll have like a one-on-one like person.
No. They're not. It's not like you're going to have someone on staff.
Dedicated. Maybe, I think with this, with Instagram adding this, I think the additional revenue that they're going to make from this, they'll maybe be able to pay for some staff. I feel like they might be hurting from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it says you'll have like an advisor. You'll have a meta advisor from Facebook or from Instagram, which is probably going to be the same thing as always, but
it's not going to be a dedicated person that's sitting there waiting for Dan Oneil to message you. It's going to be someone on staff that's probably responsible for hundreds of thousands of accounts.
That's what Eric's going to be doing in 6 months if it doesn't take up.
I will if I keep having these breakdowns live on air. But Shannon also made a good point. If this was $100 a month, $50 a month, then that actually, becomes a decision for a lot of people. And I think that would help with the people that are really serious about, hey, I really need to get my verified account for my business. And because I'm a real estate agent and because if I ever lose my account, it's really going to hurt my business other than, compared to the people that have maybe 50 followers, they just started their account and now they're all of a sudden verified. So I agree with Shannon, up the price.
Well, I can tell you too, from again being verified and then removing it, I paid probably because I had so many copycat accounts at the time. I probably paid about 30 grand worth of like marketing material, worth of articles, just to try to be able to have that press to submit it. So that's how much I spent, and then they took it away. I can't admit, like, for $12 a month, I feel like it's a little. But what I did notice Twitter did too is now they have like gold and blue checks. So maybe like if you're grandfathered in like a Tom Ferry, right? Maybe you have the gold and we would have like a blue one. So maybe there's that way to differentiate it. But they could take all my money. I already spent 30 grand. They can have every dollar in my bank account. Give me that blue check back, please.
It does change the game from a news standpoint, right? Like a lot of agents wanted to get in the New York Times, the New York Post, or I don't know what the Arizona Star, the Tucson Citizen, the Long Island,
Yeah.
Lagoons. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that was like a strategy for people to get verified. It's like, hey, I'm going to write a book. I literally wrote a book to get verified. I wrote Commission Impossible, an entire cartoon book, so I could be a published author with a better chance to get verified. So now this entire outreach to other companies, it doesn't really matter if you could just buy it.
Yes. All right. Well, listen, if you're going to be paying for the blue check, let us know. If you're not, also let us know, or just, again, wish me a happy birthday. Make sure to like and comment. We could really use it here. All right. Any final thoughts here on Instagram and Meta's verification? No. Okay.
No.
Perfect. Great. On to the next topic, which actually kind of flows right into what we're talking about here, is Inman influencers. Inman announces 2023 global influencer campaign. One of the 1,000 things that they've come out with recently. Inman announces that they are going to be, I don't even know, excited to collaborate with the best in the business and share their up close and personal success stories, advice, inspiration, and diverse perspectives in meaningful dialogue with the Inman community. Some of the names are Maurizio, Glenda, Frederick Eklund, a flurry of big names. I don't really understand. I couldn't read the article to the full extent, but this is, again, one of 1,000 things that they appear to be doing right now. Eric, I know you read this probably with probably with a magnifying glass. So maybe you could explain the article a little better. What exactly are they going to be doing?
I wish I could explain it a little bit better. It was extremely vague. They just announced these Inman Global Real Estate Influencer Program. And one of the things said, these are all people with 6-figure followings. So I don't know if you have to have 100,000 followers to be a part of it. But I mean, it is an all-star lineup. You got Tariq El Moussa, you got Frederick Eklund, Mauricio, Glenda Baker, and then Egypt Sherrod. So those are all obviously heavy hitters. Again, if you read the article, it's an announcement without an announcement. It doesn't really say what they're going to do specifically. I don't know if they're going to be content behind a paywall. I don't know if they're going to be speaking at every event going forward, but it kind of seems like Inman has launched 5 or 6 new products and things in the last 2 months with a flurry, right? There's Inman Access now. There's Inman
Select.
Connect, of course. There's Inman Select, or then there was another one that I'm forgetting what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just launching program after program after program, which is more products than they've had seemingly ever. So I don't know if they're scrambling. I don't know if they're making announcements just to make announcements so these people will reshare their stuff so they get more engagement on social. I don't really know the angle here. I'll be interested to hear Shannon and Shane's thoughts.
Yeah, I did read the article, but to me, I like to look up to agents that are out selling homes every day. And the broke agent released a list the other day of agents to follow on social. My name wasn't on it. I started crying and I added it to my goal list to one day make that list. But that's a
I didn't
type
make
of
the list either.
yeah, I know. I mean, that's the type of list that I think agents should strive to be on, is the broke agent's agent to follow list. I mean, do some of those people even sell homes still? I don't know. I didn't really understand the article.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you will be on the list. Same with you, Shane.
Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
You guys be able to explain this better, because the article to me was just very vague. I didn't understand what they were really announcing, what this is going to be happening. Shane, give us something here, Shane.
I got a lot for this one, actually. I did read this one. Anytime I hear the term influencer, I kind of like internally cringe because I fucking hate it so much, especially when it's in the context of real estate, because I agree so much with Shannon. These people that these agents are glorifying don't sell shit. And it really, really bothers me because they're not out selling homes. They're not actually doing the job that we do to make money. Like Tom Toole says, we make money by selling houses. I don't know the background of a lot of these influencers that they've announced on there, so I can't really speak on that. But I would say within the real estate space, there's a lot of people that just want that clout or that vanity of being an influencer on social, but the real estate transactional history is garbage. And that those aren't the agents I don't feel that I look up to. And I would agree with Shannon where it should be agents that are producing, that are doing the work that's necessary to make money that other people can look up to. But maybe you have a hybrid, an agent that actually sells a shit ton of real estate, but also has a really awesome presence. And that's the people that we should look up to. So this one kind of got my blood rolling a little bit. Reading on Tariq, and I'm glad that you skipped over his name because I didn't know how to pronounce it, but I'm glad that Eric said it. I don't know if you guys caught that line in like the first paragraph. So most people know Tariq of the show that they did with his wife, and then when they separated or divorced or whatever, it was like global news. The last line, it talks about his family, so his kids, and then his wife Heather Ray, who's the star on Selling Sunset. I just found that kind of funny because it like at least has cohesion where he just like stays in the real estate space with his spouses. That was just like something that I had noticed on there that I thought was a little comical, but going into the last point, overall, I do think it can be helpful, but I'm just apprehensive about it because I'm a guy that when I look up to someone, I want to know that agent has been in the trenches, has done the work that they needed to do to get to that status. And I just don't know if most of these people on the list have done that.
So I know this list. Mauricio's the number one agent in Los Angeles, founded the agency. Glenda Baker sells an enormous amount of real estate. Not too familiar with, Frederick Huckland, obviously huge. Right. I know Tariq's done a lot of business too. I know he's doing some more kind of EXP courses, some other stuff. And I'm sure Egypt does well too. So I think this list in terms of, are they actually selling houses 100%, at least in terms of Mauricio and Glenda, I know that for a fact. But I agree with you in the sense that they did just attach like global influencer program to a list that really is vapid in the sense just we don't know what it is. But I don't know what it is, so I'm just basically saying nothing right here. So we're kind of just talking about something that we don't know what it is. But I think
we
there's
all
kind of
this around and said literally nothing.
I know.
There's nothing to say about the article, but regardless, I think it's important, like Shannon mentioned, like that list that you had come out with, I think is more relatable for all of us. Like it's very hard to relate to a Frederick Eklund who sold $47 billion worth of real estate and has a team in different countries. It's very hard to relate to a Maurizio Umansky who founded and owns the agency and is the number one agent in Beverly Hills. Eric, you probably don't even have a pair of Gucci loafers. You wouldn't be able to hang out with Maurizio, right? So
right. I've sat in his office with him, had a great coffee. Actually, the guy's a great guy. Yeah, 6 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So my point being is it's hard for us. It's hard for us to relate to some of those bigger names. So your list that you came out with on your Instagram story that was presented by KCM was much more relatable and was much more for us, right? Like, a Tom Toole and a Byron Lazine. Those are the people that I want to be learning from right now because it's hard for me to relate to selling a $40 million mansion in Beverly Hills.
I think really sorry, go ahead, Shannon.
Oh, I was just going to say, I totally agree. It's just like that. Yeah, that'd be so cool one day to be at their level, but we need that relatable agent, like the broke agents list. I think that should be a BAM article, but before it gets published, we should all be included in that list, maybe a revised 100%. Version, because we need that inspiration as agents to follow people that we could actually strive to become, within the next year or so.
Or just to get influence from in the sense of you're consuming their content and now it's actually helping your business, like following people like Shane and Shannon and Chris Benjamin and Dan and seeing what they're posting and then trying to emulate that with your content. What I honestly think this is Inman just putting an announcement out there so they could get the shares, get kind of the clout that comes with these names and to associate some talent with what they're doing. Right? Because Inman, you kind of just look at as a media company that pumps out blogs and has, good content. We use a lot of their content, obviously, for a lot of our shows, and they have great conferences, but you don't really know who's affiliated with Inman. Like they have a bunch of speakers, but it's not like, with BAM, it's like, you got Captain Dan right here. You got Matt Leonetti, you got Tom Toole, you got Byron, you got Taya, you have all these creators. So I almost think it was like a counter move to just be like, all right, we're just going to make this huge announcement and not really explain what it is. So that's what I think it is. Not necessarily because of us, but I think we've lit a fire under everybody's ass.
Well, speaking of fire, you have your wedding in 2 weeks, so we'll send it off with that. Thank you, KCM. Make sure to check out the link in description for the Tom Ferry tour. Make sure to follow Shane. Make sure to follow Shannon. They are both doing incredible jobs. Maybe we'll all make the list next time, Eric. Who knows?
Yes.
And make sure to wish me a happy belated birthday. Thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Wish me a happy birthday. Safe flight, Shannon.
Thanks.